One of the more challenging assignments I ever had was this ballet painting. It had to be done in a realistic style, and it had like 40 people in the background. These audience members are too far away to justify a full rendering. So I relied on a very foundational construction of the head to paint them. And it's the same foundation that leads to a more finished head like this. It all starts with noticing some simple rhythms. This is the complex side of the Asaro head, but if I rotate this model, the other side is very simplified. And this reveals a through line that we can trace from the top to the bottom of the head. I'm following the contours of the temple, the eye socket, and the cheekbone planes, and I'm able to make this uninterrupted line. From here, I'll mark the corner of the front plane of the chin and connect the dots. And there we go. There's our main rhythm or through line. If we look at the head in a more three-quarter view, we can complete the symmetry of the shape, and that simple shape forms the front of the head. So what I'm suggesting is that a strong foundational understanding of the head kind of looks like this, eliminating all the features for now and arriving at a very simple collection of planes. It's just a front plane and two side planes. I'm going to do two more quick things to this. First is indicate a shadow plane for the eye sockets, and second, make a more subtle distinction for the change in direction that happens here. And that's it. Let's plot some points along the center of each plane and connect them with a cross-contour line, that is a line that goes over the form. And there we go. This is the essential understanding that will allow you to draw the head from any angle. Each change in direction we've indicated here is critically important. They are foreshortened in this view, but in a profile view, they look like this. I'm also indicating that the eyes are halfway down the head. Now, in a profile view, the front plane is foreshortened, but we will still see it. Some simple tone helps separate the front from the side planes. Notice that it essentially looks like a skull, which is of course the literal foundation of the head. Taking a quick but related sidestep, I've always found it really insightful to watch good sculptors work. A good sculptor like Stecca here has mastery over these planes. Currently, the front and sides are worked out like a simple box. Now he's finding the sides of the chin. Here's that inward cutting angle of the cheekbones. And here Stecca is carving away the planes to arrive at the same starting point that we just had. Of course, it's missing that eye socket plane, but here it comes, right on schedule. And here we go, a nice sculptural understanding of the exact same essentials of the head. The nice thing about a simple arrangement of planes is that you can draw it pretty quickly. Make sure to put in that center cross-contour line, which I'm doing here in red, and I'm adding some very simple shading just to delineate the direction of planes. We are mostly focusing here on the collection of front planes. They form the brow, the cheekbone, the jaw, and of course that eye socket plane carves inward, forming a down-facing plane, which you can just throw in shadow. You can throw the entire side plane into a simple shadow as well. Try working the other way and simplifying a photograph into these planes. This is a healthy combination of tracing with imaginative simplifying. I can trace the contours of the head, but I have to manually eliminate detail from the reference to imagine where these planes are. And don't forget that center line, it's important. If you're wondering how to place that center line exactly, here I'm in a 3D program, and I'll put a center line on this flat plane, right in the middle. Now, from a front view, it just goes in the middle. But from a three-quarter view, that line is no longer in the middle of the shape, two-dimensionally speaking. To find that line, simply mark out the four corners of the plane, draw an X connecting them, and the intersection point of the X is the middle of the plane in perspective. So I might want to look back at my study here and make a little correction. This is a good, simple tool to help self-evaluate your studies. So my advice is to fill sketchbook pages with drawings like this. Use reference if you need to, but make sure you are drilling different angles of the head, including more dramatic views like low angles and high angles. One thing to add about the side plane, like the jaw for example, it does not go back at a 90 degree. It kind of flares out like this. And this is where it's great to reference things like sculpture so you can see things from different views. Going back to this painting here, you should be able to understand now how I lit this head. It's, of course, the exact same collection of simple planes first. The facial features then have a clear place to go on top of that structure. And if we re-examine the close-ups of the audience here, that simple structure, plus a block for the nose, is all I was painting. When you feel ready to move to the next step of your study, I recommend trying some small head paintings. I'll even do them here in full color. I keep them about this size on my screen as I work. You could do these by simplifying reference material or just work from your imagination. The head on the left is from my imagination, and the head on the right is a simplified sergeant study. No matter the case, of course you start with the basic structure we just learned in this video, but then go ahead and see if you can add in some facial features. If you do that, I recommend starting with the nose. It's a big feature that adds a lot of character to the head. It tends to be easy to place, it goes right on top of that center line we've been drawing, and you can use the nose to measure out the eyes and the mouth. Look at the left drawing for a second. I'm using the liquify tool to alter the design and proportion. That's totally okay to do because I have the underlying structure there, and using an aggressive tool like liquify at this stage doesn't ruin anything. And this is where you plug in further lessons about drawing the facial features themselves. And I'll be adding to this playlist with more lessons about that. But what I hope you can get out of this video is how reliable that simple structure is to build upon. With some practice, you'll find that you can capture the head from any angle without a whole lot of mystery. If you want to learn about every part of the head right now, check out my class, Understanding and Painting the Head. I've also got pretty good deals on drawing and painting bundles, and a pre-sale on my upcoming figure drawing class. That's all at marcobucciartstore.com. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.